Greetings everyone, this is Immaculate from iMari Creation. Today I am excited to talk about Chenna Chaduranga game. Okay, so I am sure I may not be pronouncing it right, but I just want to thank two people again, Lucy Sam William, for putting me into chase into Tulu cultural games of Mankala variety of games, and it has been very intriguing and very interesting. I just want to share few words and try to derive that Chenna Chaturanga game. And excuse me if I get lost, because while researching I really get lost with deep and rich culture of Tulu and their traditions and their folklore and all that. So kindly bear with me. I want to, as much as possible, I want to record that. Okay, and I also want to thank Reshma Sharma, because while I was searching, I literally felt illiterate because of my language skills or lack of it. And wherever possible, as usual, Reshma Sharma is my go-to person for Mankala variety of games in Karnataka region. So she jumped in and filled in the gaps with respect to language and all that. So over to Chenna Chaduranga game. As usual, my focus is actually to document the rules which are completely forgotten so that people can play. But meanwhile, I don't want to lose some of the findings or some of my my feelings or my impressions, so that at least somebody can do a deeper research. That I will do at the end. Over to Chenna Chaduranga game. This game references, I got it from Oral Traditions of South India essay collection. I will give them in the references in the description so that people can see that. They have done a very good documentation of Tulu folklore, especially the story of Abhaya and Daraya. I am again sure I must be pronouncing it wrong. And they are twin sisters and just before marriage, and it's a very very intriguing story which is documented by many many padanas. So few padanas documents the story, and very few lines are there about the game, and from there only I have derived it. Again, story in short, it's twin sisters, they are about to get married to, somewhat it sounded like a name like Rama Lakana, two brothers, and it is in a palace, and these girls have a silver board and play with golden coin, and they have also written the board has got 7 holes, and they also play with 4 seats. In one of the padana they have explained that, and they sit opposite each other and play, and the story goes something like this. And in the first round, elder sister is losing, younger sister is winning. And first round, elder sister got 1 hole empty, second round 2 hole empty, 3 rounds, third round third hole empty. And because the younger sister who is winning, who said a pun in Tulu saying that your house is empty, now you can boil the rice, and again I must be pronouncing it wrong, the name is Pori, something like that. So it means your house is empty plus you can boil rice, it seems. Boil rice for, because look, these girls are facing, they're marrying the other brothers in few days, so it's boiling rice and make feast, I think. But the elder sister got offended, and they play this game in the presence of a Brahmin, okay, and in the palace. Okay, again Brahmin, I believe it's not as in caste but as in a job or a responsibility or a role, so they are usually the advisors to the king and all that. So that Brahman, again they say it is disguised, it's some god disguised in Brahmin, he advises the elder sister, how can you live with this insult. So she picked the board, and it's a gold board, right, and hits the sister, and sister loses her life, and elder sister feels bad, and she also jumped into, through the body and jumped into the well. And it is a sad story, but there is some reasons for that and all that. But only thing which we learned from that is it is played with 7 holes and 4 gold coins, and houses fall empty. Each round 1 house falls empty. So I have reasons to believe It is the Holawahannu game which I have documented, and in the same game only Lucy Sam William has given the comment about Tulu games. I have pinned that comment also, and that Holawahannu game was contributed by Reshma Sharma. I have reasons to believe either it is that game or the normal Chenna game or the variation which I didn't cover in the first game. So the variation is Chenna game is also played with 4-4 each. You take, one player takes from their side and keep putting one each, and take next, as in Pallanguli, Aluguli Mane, Chenna Mane and all that, because in Holawahannu game you take from the same and keep playing, take next and play, and I believe it's collecting 4. It ended here, take next and play. We won't stop like Mankala or Hanna game where if it is on the same, ends in 1 we will stop. So take next and play. We will stop when we can't take next. Take next and play. And collect 4 on your side. Again take next and play. Now I can't take next, my turn stops. In Chenna game you can't take next, you will take this or this and this. Okay. Now my turn ended. Now it's the opponent's turn. So they all will try to collect 4. So strategy slightly differs. Collect 4 on your side. Take next, take next. Again game will continue for some time, it looks like. Take next. Now I got 4, I can collect it, and opponent is still playing by taking next. So if you collect only 4, I got one more 4. So opponent is still playing. Opponent got 1 4. The game continues. And why I also believe it is this game is only our kind of Pallanguli, Mankala, Aluguli Mane. We play next rounds. So next we can't take. So opponent turn ended. Now my turn. So I am obviously trying to make 4s. So 3. So my turn ended. Now opponent's turn. Also collect 4 and they ended it. Now my turn. So I have to split this. Otherwise I might lose my 4s. So opponent got a 4. So I also got 2 4s. Now again opponent's turn. This is first round over. Again to see who is the winner. Fill it with 4-4. Now I think I'll take this opportunity to document how usually next rounds are played also. So 4. See, as expected, first round one house became empty. Okay, so they fill remaining. Teach you how the next round is played. So next round is played by either blocking this. Okay, blocking this. See, one way of playing it is I can loan this to the opponent and they can return it after the round is over, then the game will be continuing the same way. Or this is blocked for the opponent and played after blocking, so that is another way of playing. I think that is how the sisters played. And there is another way in which I put this here and this becomes my hole, so I should remember this is mine and I can collect it from here, and the opponent plays only with this 6. So this one I will just show. I am not sure how the sisters played. I have a feeling they blocked and played. That is how one by one it became, empty. Okay, so now if we just put this and consider this mine, now opponent starts. So they play. They can't select from here. So playing next, you can play next, like that. Opponent is playing. Oh, it fell here. Take next and play. One already fell there. Take next and play. Now if 4 comes here, I will collect it. Next and play. And I can start from here also, because this is for all practical purposes my hole. Next is empty, so it's done. So now my turn. I can even start from here, but I want to convert that into 4, so I'll start from here. Take next. So opponent got 4, I got 4. I am taking next. So this is my hole, so I got 4. So like that. So I am not going to play the complete game. I think you got the idea. So my turn got over. Now opponent's turn. Like that they will keep collecting again. So this is how the game is played, and clear winner emerges when somebody closes all the holes on one side. Okay. Now to document the other observations which I had, again with the proper disclaimer, I am not doing a complete research. I believe nobody can say it is a complete research, because games go back to 5000 years back, and complete research is like maybe always be incomplete. We may miss something, and may not be all documented. I can't even claim I'm a kid picking shells on the shore, because it will be very precarious, because many famous scientists and saints have said that. So I may be just grazing the nunipul mayaradu, that's what they say in Tamil, grazing the tender grass, only the top part. That may be the juicy part and tasty part and healthy part. And but I do have some observations. So usually from other cultures, from whatever I was learning, because usually I documented based on people's living memory, because now we can't meet people. I just got into formal or informal research, but I have read a lot of museum archives and lot of documents like Asian studies and this oral traditions of South India, and a lot of archaeologists and game enthusiasts documents and all that. So what I observe is that there are a lot of games are played at the funerals. And they are not just games, they are one tribute to the person who is, no more, especially in Rome and Egypt cultures and all that. And they played it not only as a tribute, and few people argue or think, they played it to settle the inheritance. Okay, because a lot of, people who claim inheritance, that might make the kingdom, a little not so strong, kingdom weak. If you split it right, kingdom may become weak. So the player who wins, maybe they are strong, maybe they are smart, or maybe they are street smart, whatever. Whoever wins gets the inheritance and they rule, and others just support them. So that is one way. And second is also, even in our Mahabharata, when they played the game, and many scholars agree that Pandavas, it's not gambling addict, it is like a European duel. When someone challenges you for the game, you have to play the games, and games are used to settle kingdom or inheritance. And the presence of Brahmins actually suggests that, again, Brahmins as in the role, not in the caste. So suggest that, it is played in the court. Even this game in the Puran, in the Padana, it is played in the king's palace, not in the court, but in the palace. So that decides that, how inheritance are settled, and it's a legal way in olden days. And even a lot of tribes play these games. Again, it is documented by missionaries and mercenaries, and there is lot of research to be done even to religious texts as sacred as Bible and Quran and whatever many religious texts like Vedas. These games should be researched and documented, and missionaries' histories also is my belief, because they have documented lot of tribes settled their disputes using games. The tribal leaders sitting and playing all those games. I am yet to document. I am just gathering them. It is just to tell there can be more to games even in our Indian culture, and in the sociology and in culture, in tradition and history, even archaeology, and there is whole lot we may be missing by not documenting these games. So again, as I said, I am not going deeper. I am only trying to go broader and try to document as many games as possible. And next I will also document Kolayali Hannu. Kolavakannu I have already documented, Kodiyali Hannu and Avera. I am sure one of these game may be the Chenna Chaturanga. And if not, we have just come up with another version. And please do watch and contribute. I am sorry this is lengthy, but so as Tulu culture and tradition and folklore is. And thanks so much. Please do subscribe and share so that somebody takes up this cause. And by the way, there are a lot of modern research also can be done on the benefits of playing this game. Mental max, interpersonal skills, hand-eye coordination, and I was told even writing improves if you play these games. So again, let me stop here, otherwise I will keep continuing. And thanks, and bye, Immaculate.